motherfucking banger of a video. Now today we're gonna be talking about becoming more successful, confident and attractive as a man in 2026. A lot of guys, they believe that they gotta go through a lot of pain. They believe they gotta go through a lot of turmoil. They believe that they are where they are because they haven't thought of a good plan to get there, or they haven't had a good mindset towards getting where to go. And I'm gonna be honest with you, you're partially right. You know what I'm saying? But in this video, we're gonna be breaking down a lot of the things that you believe and why it's wrong, and that's the reason why you're at where you're at, and also giving you the keys to overcome each trial. Not just with successful in your career, not just with being more confident internally, not just with being more attractive in your business or with women, but all variables in one video. So, leave a like down below, get this video to 200 likes, and I will answer every individual question that y'all have. Oh no, but other than that, I definitely will leave a comment alongside with y'all. But I will say, this is about to be a banger. So, you want you to know is that a lot of times you are where you are is because you don't know where you want to be. And what that means, what that look like. It means that whenever you're doing what you're doing in your life, whether it be you getting groceries, whether it be you driving around town, whether it be you doing your hobby, boxing, football, basketball, whatever the case might be, you're always thinking about what you don't want. But you have to start thinking about what you do. And that's like the first step, is because you have to line yourself up to get what you want. Now, one thing that I will always say, for me starting out and, me doing my own thing, becoming a man in life and going out and get what you want in life, is that I always thought to myself, if I work hard in my career, if I do what I gotta do and I'm good at what I do, that's all that matters. But I neglected every other thing. I was not getting better at every other thing that I did. I was not getting better at it. I basically didn't give it much or any of my attention. But when I took a step back and I started to really focus on myself and focus on what I wanted, everything else started to just align. And a lot of it just came from me focusing on realizing that a lot of stuff that I was thinking about didn't matter. When I was thinking about the fact that woman didn't text me, that did not matter. When the fact that I was thinking about that the people that I had wasn't really valuing my time, that didn't matter. When it came down to, family and me spending time with my family, but I wasn't spending time doing what I wanted to do when it came down to going after what I wanted, that didn't matter. The thing that mattered is that I was always thinking about what I didn't want or what I didn't want to do. And I wasn't thinking about what I was actually doing in that moment and what that moment was offering to me to get what I wanted down the line. And a big part of that, man, has a lot to do with me just not thinking positive, me not going after what I wanted, me thinking that I knew everything. The fact that I was so arrogant. Oh, I'll figure that out. Oh, I already know that. Oh, I know enough about that. That's not that hard to figure out. And because I thought that way in so many different aspects of life, I didn't necessarily understand exactly how it worked. I was so caught up on wanting to be seen a certain way or not wanting to put in the work to actually get a result that I was not realizing that I wasn't necessarily getting any results. And a lot of times in life, you see a lot of people that are doing it where they say they want to do this, and they might watch a few videos, or they might watch people who are doing what they want to do, but they aren't doing anything. They aren't necessarily taking action. They're not growing within themselves to become better versions of themselves. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's very annoying at times, but the truth of the matter is that a lot of guys go through the same problem, and, they think to themselves, I'm not here because I don't know something. I haven't thought of a good plan. I haven't figured it out. And it's really because of the way you think. Your arrogance can stop you from living the life you want. Because you believe in something that isn't producing the results that you wanted, and you stay aligned with those beliefs, you're going to experience the same life again. For example, me personally, I always thought to myself when I was younger, man, women knew me. They would love me. I don't really care. Like if they just knew me, I would be all right. Like they just don't know me. I just feel like if they knew me, they would really care. They would like me for me. They wouldn't like me for my money. I don't need to have money. I don't need to have this. I don't need to have that. Which is a good belief to have. But I had other beliefs, which was, she's gonna reject me. She might not like me. She might not. Which country she has money, or she seems like she'll like another guy with money. Me having those same beliefs aligned with that belief also is a contradiction, which limits you to not moving. Content. I remember I was or like a few years ago, at this point, I didn't even want to do content because I was like, I believe a lot of people need to know the information that I have, but they might judge me, or they might say this about me, they might do that about me. And the truth is, I don't give a fuck. But because I said that to myself and I thought that in my own mind, it was enough. It was literally enough to stop me from doing what I knew I should have been doing, or doing even what I wanted to do. It had nothing to do with you motherfuckers. It just had everything to do with the way I was thinking. And that's what, I apologize, listen, y'all missed out on actually getting that game from me when a young age, because I had always had a decent amount of game. But it's just, I just didn't do anything to better myself in that area. But my career, I was growing, elevating. You know what I'm saying? I was getting there. And then I found out in that avenue, it wasn't even in the avenue that I actually wanted. I didn't even want to do that. I was just doing that because I wanted to earn money and have a certain perception, and I want to be perceived a certain way. So when you look at it across the board, if you're going to do something that you want, if you're going to go for what you want, you might as well go for what you want. And it's because the reason why I was thinking about all those other things, because I was caught up on perception. Okay, I was caught up on being perceived. If you look at a lot of what I was doing, a lot of my beliefs, a lot of things that I knew were not foolish, but they were clouded by my own insecurities. These insecurities were perception based. They weren't who I was based. They were perception based, which faltered and destroyed my confidence. You feel what I'm saying? Like that destroyed my confidence. And because I was so focused on the way I was being perceived, the way I was being looked at, that didn't matter. In the end, it never mattered. The only thing that mattered is the way I saw myself. And that's what was going to really lead to me growing. So, once I understood that, I began to feel different about everything that I did in life. Not just for my motherfucking career, y'all. I'm talking about fruits, eating fruits, boxing. And I was terrified to box. I always looked at myself like, man, I don't want to go in there with those animals. Not literally. I never told myself that literally, but subconsciously I always thought, man, everybody in there can beat my ass. I can't present myself in a way where it's like, oh, I'm a tough guy, because people are going to want to fight me because I look like a tough guy. You know what I'm saying? And that when I walked in that motherfucker, it was true. It was very true, because it's something about me that people just, they're like, oh, this guy, he must really got a lot of skill. I'm in shape. I look good. People just want to fight. People want to fight me. So I was always a target. But I had to say to myself, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to take my losses, and I'm going to develop my skills to get to where I want to get to. And once I understood that mentally, I stopped caring about the fact that, hey, not everybody really wants to, whoop my ass. Some people are just as scared as me. Some people, they got that dog in them, and they like to challenge me, but I actually can face the challenge, and I can overcome these challenges of these people really trying to kick my ass. I've overcame some of these challenges. Some challenges I didn't, but I learned a lot, and I learned how to kick ass even better. So it's kind of like a learning experience versus me saying, I don't really know I want to go in the gym because I'm going to get tested, and once I get tested, I'm going to fold. I'm going to crumble. I don't know if I'm going to actually get there, because I'm focused on the way I'm being perceived, not who I am. When you focus on who you are, you grow into what you want. Perception doesn't exist. Perception is in mind. Perception isn't real. It isn't reality. You only understand about 20% of what's going on in reality. The other 80% is actually just in your motherfucking mind. So when you understand that, you start realizing that even if you start saying certain things to yourself, you're not even lying to yourself. You're just choosing what you want to see. Me personally, I like to understand it all, and this is what I'm about to go into in this game with all the stuff I'm about to give y'all. But this is key. This is key to why you might not be confident. This is key to why you might not be successful. This is key to why you might not be that attractive. It's because you aren't focusing on you. You're focusing on the way you're being perceived. And the way you're being perceived is always and always will be outside of your control. One motherfucker might see me and say to themselves, this motherfucker look like a plus nigga. Another motherfucker might say, this motherfucker look like he just worked out. Another motherfucker might say, this motherfucker look fucking God. Another motherfucker might say, this motherfucker swag the fuck out. So another motherfucker might say, he's a goddamn nerd. He has an anime in the back. He has Naruto in the back. No, it's a whole bunch of things that motherfuckers might say, but it has nothing to do with who I am. This has everything to do with who they are and the way they live their lives and the way they lead to them perceiving me. But this shit can affect you in so many different ways. The moment you stop caring about that, the moment you become more confident. The moment you become more confident, the moment you become more successful and attractive. Confidence is the key. But it's hard to be confident when you don't really understand that the way you're thinking is wrong. And this is what we're about to go into. Leave a like down below. Subscribe. I know y'all love this type of content. I know y'all love this gang. Subscribe, bro. We're going to drop this all the time. We're going to really grow together. I don't know everything, but I know a lot. You know what I'm saying? I know something. Got a lot more to learn. Yeah, God, so much to learn, but I know I've learned some things. So, principles, responsibility and accountability are two things that you have to really get engaged. A lot of times, guys, we tell ourselves, I missed out on that opportunity. I shouldn't have did that. I spoke out of turn. A lot of times you might say things out of line. Cool. But you say, I did that, but you didn't take accountability, which is the next. Responsibility is great. We love responsibility. We love when people take responsibility. I mean, me personally, I love when a woman knows that she does something wrong and she say, that's on me. I did that wrong. I say, man, you're a bad woman, man. Bad woman, I like that. I want her to take responsibility. But we got to, but you know what I do? I push them to that next step, which is accountability. Which is the same thing I have to do to myself all the time. Take accountability. Make sure you put something in place, whether it be a thought, whether it be the way you evaluate yourself, whether it be a new principle, a new rule you give yourself, to make sure that shit never happens again. Accountability is a principle you have to instill within yourself because it is reading feedback and it is very uncomfortable for you to do. This is the reason why most people, they don't do it. They take responsibility. Yeah, I did that. They see the truth in what they did, but they don't want to go through why they did it. They don't want to go through why they don't need to ever do it again. They don't give themselves a rule or a principle that is enforced by emotional inadequacy that is needed for you to actually step into that new person that you want to be. You got to be willing to do that. A lot of motherfuckers, they ain't. That's just the truth. That's just the truth. They just don't want to do it. They just rather live their life willy-nilly. I know I did that wrong, but fuck it. Not actually looking at themselves and actually correcting themselves. Not really. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to see what you did wrong, but it's uncomfortable to correct yourself until you get used to it. And it's a process, but that's something that you have to do. So, next step, principle that I'm going to give y'all in this video is always think about what you want. Always. Listen, a lot of times, bro, we're going to have things that's going to be presented to us that we don't want, like distractions, TikTok, Instagram, we got a lot of distractions. Women, sometimes you might have women that's fun, but you might, she's good sex, good, fun to be around, but she's not exactly what you want. You shouldn't be thinking about that. Be honest. You shouldn't be spending time with that woman. That woman should have to go above and beyond to spend time with you because You should give yourself the mental capacity to always live in the atmosphere of what you want. You know what I'm saying? Like she has to like buy you shit like she has to go above you. Like she has to basically give you everything because you basically you're trying to basically you're pushing her away. But if she's a resource, she can be a resource. If she wants to be a resource, she can be a resource. As long as you make it clear that you don't want it. You have to do that. Because the whole point is that you have to be thinking about what you want. Not thinking about what you don't. You have to think about what you want. Why? Because that's the only way you're gonna get it. You have to be thinking about how to get it. You have to think about why you want it. You have to be thinking about what are the person you are that's gonna automatically get what you want when that opportunity is being presented to you. You know what I'm saying? You have to always be thinking yourself this way, because you want to align yourself to the goal. You have to align yourself to the environment, align yourself to the mindset, align yourself to these things so you can develop, you can grow in that direction. Because if you're not thinking about it, what you're thinking about is destroying that thought. It's destroying it. So you have to keep this in mind that you have to always grow towards what you want. Next step is always evaluate yourself. Always your beliefs, the way you think, the way you feel, the way you evaluate. You know what I'm saying? The attitudes you have towards things. Sometimes you gotta correct your attitude, man. You gotta correct your attitude. You know what I'm saying? For example, let's say, man, I remember this one time, I got this apartment, and I moved here, and I just thought to myself, I gotta really build all this shit. Y'all don't see it, but I got like a desk, I got a board over here, I got stuff coming in, just gonna put up on the walls, a bunch of stuff that's coming in, guys. You know what I'm saying? And when it first got presented, bro, I was like, man, like, I'm so happy I got this apartment, but I gotta go through the turmoil of putting all this shit together. Then I just thought to myself, man, that's why you always gotta have friends in place, good friends. Motherfuckers say, man, listen, man, you gotta enjoy the process of making this shit just coming to life. You bringing what you want into life, man. Enjoy that process. And I sat back and I thought to myself, you're right. I'm tripping. I'm supposed to be enjoying this. And by me doing that, my attitude changed where I didn't even realize that I was kind of putting myself in a rut because my attitude in one area was actually bleeding off into other areas of my life. So, a lot of times, bro, you need to correct your attitude. You got to correct your way of thinking. You got to correct your beliefs because once I got started with it and I started putting things together, I realized, bro, this is actually very relaxing to put this stuff together and see it come into reality while you're putting it together. Like seeing a desk being built is actually very fucking relaxing. Putting a bed frame together is actually fucking relaxing. Building, I'm gonna be honest with you, working out and putting the motherfucking couches up the steps was terrible. Fucking, oh my God, it's a nightmare. It's absolutely nightmare. But once it was there, it was like, this shit looks good. And then my carpet started coming and I just started seeing it come to life and I said to myself, thank you for having good friends because I always wanted a good friend. But you know what's crazy about that good friend? That good friend that I have that said that wasn't always a good friend. Wasn't always a good friend. And this is a lot of stuff that I'm trying to get y'all to understand too. A lot of time when you put yourself in a position to get what you want, you bring what you want into reality. You bring it into reality. In all aspects of life. Not just in one aspect, I'm telling you, all aspects of life, you can literally bring everything that you want into reality. I promise you. But you have to be always evaluating yourself. Like, another time too, bro, I had a game plan. I remember I had made a game plan on how to make content, what I was going to do to make content, and I did not stay disciplined to that plan. And I thought to myself, well, why did I stay disciplined? What was it? What did I do? Like, what could I change? And how was my thinking wrong? And it wasn't any of that. It was just the fact that, I was unfocused. I kept giving myself opportunities to be unfocused. And that shit affected me with mental cloud, not even realizing that I made everything harder because I just kept choosing to be unfocused. I kept choosing to get on TikTok, kept choosing to get on this, and I was like, why am I continuously doing that? Well, because I haven't really accepted the fact that if I keep doing this, I'm not going to get anywhere in life. I can get somewhere, but I won't really feel the difference. It won't be significant. It'll be a small change. It will never be a big significant change if I continuously choose to be distracted. But I also noticed, man, it's a challenge for me to stay focused. So in order for me to really make a change, I should just baby step myself into making a change that is long lasting. And what does that look like? Well, instead of watching TikToks, I give myself permission to watch movies, watch TV shows, listen to music. I give myself permission to do that in certain periods of the day. And eventually, some weeks I don't listen to music. I got other weeks where I listen to just music. I got other weeks where I read books and I listen to podcasts only. Like, I started doing these things because sometimes you have to challenge yourself to see where you are. Give yourself permission to fail. Sometimes you're going to pass a challenge, sometimes you're going to fail these challenges, but you have to give yourself permission because it's not about whether you succeed or fail. It's about evaluating who you are, seeing yourself for who you are and going in that direction. You see what I'm saying? Another thing with women, a lot of times, I would I gotta call women every day because I was just so fucking insecure. I wanted the women so bad, and I just did not want to lose them that I would just call them multiple times throughout the day, and the whole time, they would be thinking about me the entire time. It's just that the way that I moved, it gave them clarity to realize that I can play games with this motherfucker. And because I think I can play games with this motherfucker, I'm not even attracted to him. And also, I was unfocused with the shit that I need to be focused on because I was thinking about so much about women. And the whole time, if I was thinking about the woman that I wanted, I wouldn't be thinking about those women because I never really wanted those women. Now, they're fun to have sex with. They're fun, so I get it fucked up. I'm a man. I love to have fun with women. I love to have sex. But sex isn't everything. Work and having passion, having purpose, and moving towards that purpose is everything. But it has to develop that mindset. So what does it mean? What does that look like? Oh, it's time to implement rules, implement principles to understand that, listen, this woman I'm just going to see her as a sex object until she shows me that she's more than a sex object. I'm going to see her as somebody to have fun with until she shows me that she's more than somebody to have fun with. I'm going to see her as someone that's going to serve me until she shows me that she's more than somebody that has to serve me. Once they show me that, now they step into the opportunity of actually being a role player on my team and potentially having me for themselves. But it's a process. And I put something in place to have that process come into reality because I want a certain woman. I don't want any woman. I want a certain woman. So all those other women that believe that they have a entitlement, or they believe that they deserve something, they believe they're trying to prove something, or they trying to take control of me, or they trying to play games, they don't really have much of my time. They might have a little bit of time so they can suck me. Or they might have a little bit of time so I can bend their ass over, put their face in the pillow and dig them out. But they're not getting me because what I want is a certain woman. I have evaluated their mind. This is what I mean. You have to evaluate these things. You can't just say, I want this because I want this. No, you have to actually put a game plan in place. You have to put a thought process in place because your reasoning in your reality and the moves that you have to make are two different things. Two different categories, and that actually is that leads to being 100% on what you actually do. So the reason why I'm able to say to myself, I'm going to use you to serve me, I'm going to use you for just sex, I'm going to use you for just fun, is because the reason why I can categorize these women like this is because I understand that a man is going to want sex and a woman is going to want attention. A woman likes, for example, a lot of guys, right? They believe, I'm going to be, her female friend. I want to be her guy best friend. I want to be her guy friend. You know what I'm saying? Not the guys who actually the guy friend, but they hitting her on the side. Not those guys. We're talking about the guys who are legit friends. What you got to realize is this is the ultimate ego boost for a woman. Because she says that she's seeing for herself, I'm good enough to have a guy around and not want to have sex with me, and he continuously talking to me. I'm good enough. And once she begins to feel that way, right, then she starts to lose herself because she understands that in order for her to get you, she has to have sex with you. But in doing that, and in gaining attention from you, she starts to gain herself because she's never known that she hasn't had herself until she experienced you. Only when you are this kind of man, only when you are evaluating, only when you're continuously connecting to yourself, only when you're challenging yourself, only when you're trying to improve yourself, only when you're going in this direction with your life, that you are this. But when you are not doing this, you're not growing towards the motherfucking stars, and you're choosing to stay complacent and low and slowly saturate yourself underneath the motherfucking pits of hell, that's when your ass ain't that man. You're not that man to that woman. And that's just the truth. You can like it, you can not like it, but that's just the reality of it. It's just that you're not that man for that woman. Okay, and this is what the reality of it is, man. A lot of y'all believe to yourselves, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I don't have to be that way. You know, I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. And this is the reason why you're not successful. This is the reason why you're not growing. This is the reason why you're not confident. This is the reason why you're not attractive. It's because you're not actually becoming who you want to be. You're not going after what you want. And it's not about the way it looks. This is what I'm trying to tell y'all. It's about who you have to be to get what you want. What you have to know to get what you want. And a lot of it you don't know. It's a lot of it you're just going to be attracted to it because you're thinking about it. You're going to find it because you're thinking about it. It's going to be presented to you because you're thinking about it. This is how the world actually works. When you're not, what you're thinking about becomes your reality. And because you're thinking about a bunch of nonsense, a bunch of bullshit, that is your reality, my friend. That is your reality, my friend. That's your reality. So you have to always evaluate yourself to develop these things and grow. It's a mindset thing. It's why you also always have to learn. You will not evaluate yourself correctly if you're not learning and identifying what you don't know. You will not do it because you will basically play the same soundtrack over and over and over and over again. Sometimes you can learn the same information several different times, and you can always go into that information and have a deeper understanding of that information. But you have to know that there's things out there that you just don't fucking know. You're uncertain. What's out there? We only know a few things. We don't know what's going on. So much we don't know. So much of it can benefit us. So much of it can put us through hell. So much of us can challenge us, and so much of it can rise us to the occasion. And sometimes, just sometimes, you can put yourself in a position to get everything that you want. Because who you are right now is exactly what you need to be to get what you want. But sometimes you're a gold bar in a room full of motherfuckers who don't value gold. They believe silver is the gold. Sometimes you're a beautiful painting, a beautiful anime painting that's in a room full of motherfuckers that believe 50 Cent is the end all be all. Fucking urban is the end all be all. Urban hood street stuff is the end all be all. They won't see that as valuable. You put that in a room full of motherfuckers that's cosplaying, that painting can be sold for probably $200, maybe even more. My whole point is that don't look at what way other people value you to determine the way you value yourself. So, next thing is, now I already went into this, which is women seek attention and men seek sex. When you understand this is when you understand that a woman doesn't think that you like her if you're not trying to fuck her. The moment you try to fuck her, the moment she identifies that she likes you, it can be when she see you, it can be when she hear your voice, it can be the way she reads your confidence. It can be when she talks to you and she understands the way you think. It can be when she realizes what you believe. It don't matter. You never know what it is for that woman. And some women, they just different. Some women, they just like your personality. That's enough. Some women, they like the way you think. That's enough. Some women like the way you look. That's enough. The moment she identifies that she like you, that's the moment you know what I'm saying, you present yourself like you want to have sex with her, and she's gonna be down for it 9 times out of 10, just off the simple fact and off the strength that you are a man, that she understands a man wants sex. But when you realize that she's playing games, when you move differently, this is when you start really getting this woman to question herself. Then listen, we ain't gonna get into that because y'all gotta join the Patreon, man. Sometimes you gotta pay to play. This is a part of growing. You have to pay to play. I had to pay my dues to the game in many different ways. My time, my attention, lessons learned, pain, and pleasure. I had to learn in different ways, but this is the game, man. This is what it is. This is how you become more attractive. This is how you become more confident and successful in this world. That's all I got for y'all, man. Leave a like down below. Subscribe for more content like this. And I'm going to see y'all when I see y'all, man. Peace.